Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is the Hurricane, an Azorius synthesizer deck that makes people think we're a mill deck. Or is it the other way around? We come prepared for creature-based strategies with a simple set of cards to keep the opponent off balance while we work on building our board. Or maybe we're milling them. Whichever plan we happen to be on is fine, as we are able to hit them with a two-pronged attack at their life total as well as their deck size. Thanks to some new cards from Final Fantasy Tactics, we can hit them hard with Robot Overlords or hit their library with a gut punch, so hard they can still feel it 3 games later. Enough talky talk, let's get in there and do the walkie walk. We're playing the full set of Authority of the Consuls as part of our anti-creature department. Not only do enemy men enter tapped, but we also gain a life whenever one of their men enters play. It might seem minor, but this could add up over the course of a game, and buy us time we need to implement one of our plans. Stormchaser's talent is a surprise for a synthesizer deck as well as mill, but I assure you that we do have a plan. The token we generate with this when we play it out might not seem like much, but it serves as an excellent blocker when the opponent is trying to get in for hits. And if we have a clear path to the opponent's face, we can jam in there for face slaps. Thanks to the Syphon, we do want to be able to get to max speed, and the token might be what we need to get in there for a slap or two and build up our velocity. Once we have the mana, we can level up the talent and get an instant or sorcery back from the grave. This is an excellent way of being able to reuse cards like Split Up, Silver Scrutiny, and This Town Ain't Big Enough. We're likely not ever going to take advantage of the level 3 ability, but it is there if the opportunity strikes. Unfortunately, the shuffler is a thing, so we're playing the full set of Fountainport Bell. This little artifact costs only 1 mana, so we can play it out and keep our pants on all at the same time. With it, we are able to keep shuffler specials and fetch out an elusive 4th land if we need it. If our land situation is secure, we can also sacrifice it to draw a card without using the land fetch ability. And the card draw feature could be important, as you'll see later. Riverchurn Monument is a mill artifact. It's only here to mill the opponent a pair of cards at a time. When they have a full grave, we can exhaust the monument and send a heap of their deck right to the yard. All we have to do is mill half their cards, and the exhaust ability will take care of the rest of their deck. Not only is the rum gone, but their deck is gone too. GG's opponent. Thanks for coming on the big show. Silver Scrutiny is card draw at instant or sorcery speed, depending on how many cards we want. In cases we need to reload our hand, we can fire it off and draw 4 cards or more. This could be huge considering we are playing the Syphon, and that triggers off cards being drawn. A big scrutiny could be what ends the game if the conditions are just right. Split Up is our crowd control. If the opponent has a squad we're jealous of, we can split up their team and leave them with half their crowd or less. In combination with the Authority, we can be sure to take out large numbers of enemy men. Even if only some of their men are tapped, we can select which ones to leave on board. Plus, we can get it back with a talent and go for a second round of clearing out enemy men. The Synthesizer is our key card, or is it? It's a great distraction to make the opponent think we're mill. No, wait, we make them think we're a synthesizer deck. Then we mill them out. Or the opposite could happen, where we draw into cards that let us pump out a team of robot overlords from our factory outlets. All discounts will be taken at the register, then applied to face. GG's, and we'll smell you later. Aether Syphon is a fantastic artifact that goes well with the synthesizer, since it will trigger the factory and generate robot overlords. When it enters, we kick off the race. We do want to get to max speed, as that will enable the full abilities of the Syphon. Every time we draw a card, we mill the opponent for a pair of cards. Pair this with our other card draw, and even the little Fountainport Bell becomes a danger. As a bonus, the Syphon is a little shark. Let's take a bit out of the opponent. The Water Crystal is a fantastic new artifact that makes all our blue spells cost 1 mana less. Synthesizers will be 2 mana, and we essentially get a free card when we fire off a scrutiny. Although costs are reduced, we still generate robot overlords when we play out a Syphon for only 2 mana. That alone is fantastic, but the crystal also improves our mill. Anytime we send some cards to the opponent's grave from off the top of their deck, we send an additional 4 cards. That means the monument mills for 6 cards at the cost of only 1 mana. At max speed with a Syphon in play, the opponent mills 6 cards when we draw a card to start our turn. Does it sound fair? Yes, it does. But friends, that's not all. The crystal even has an activated ability that costs 6, but mills away cards equal to the number of cards we have in hand. And you thought we wanted to draw cards for the fun of it? The scrutiny looks even bigger now, doesn't it? Opponents are going to wish they had never seen our face. This town ain't big enough is a bounce spell that lets us hit a pair of targets. If we bounce something of ours, the casting cost is reduced to only 2. And that can be reduced further if we have a water crystal in play. This is a great way to keep an enemy from hitting us when they swing in. It's a temporary defensive measure, but one that could easily buy us the time we need. For lands, we're playing for Meticulous Archive, the Azorius Surveil land. For Lonely Arroyo, the Azorius Desert. This is another source of damage that can help us get to max speed. For Flood Farm Verge, the plains that becomes a duel when we have a plains or island in play. For Jidor, Aristocratic Capital, the special land that has an adventure that mills the opponent for half their deck. For islands, and for plains. Playing the deck is rather simple, with our early turns being used to set up our board with early plays, or by fetching out lands with a Fountainport Bell. Our sweeper is only 3 mana, so we can clear out an enemy team early if we're being overrun. A great way to set up defensively is to play out a synthesizer, then follow up with some artifacts to generate robot overlords. The AI men can hold down the fort while we work on tearing down the opponent's deck with mill. A water crystal is a huge boost to our mill efforts, as it will add another 4 cards to whatever amount we've managed to mill away. We're not loaded with card draw, but we have enough to keep our cards flowing and being able to play out more and more of our weaponry. Keep an eye on the opponent's total cards left in their library and mill away whenever possible. We have enough mill to leave the opponent's deck a smoldering ruin by the time we get to the late game. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games. This is Brandon. No, wait, it's Brandier. He likes hair products and overcompensating with a big sword. Nice, bro. We're kicking things off with a 4-lander. We have an authority which helps against early men and card draw with a siphon, and maybe even the bell can draw us a card also. Keep your pants on. Our surveil land shows us another bell on top. We'll keep it. With a pair of deserts in hand, we can use those to help get us to max speed, and the bells can find us lands to get out the siphon before we play out the ping lands. We'll play out our bell and get a plains with it. We'll have the mana to play out the siphon, and we can get some easy speed by playing out our deserts. They are so dry they hurt. The opponent goes with a Soul Cauldron. It's a bad-tasting soup. I suggest going with something like chicken instead. It's time for our siphon and we get our first bit of speed. It's a race, but we go from 0 to 60 in about a year and a half. As a side note, I do like these sleeves. The opponent plops down Aerith, the life-linking legend that can only grow and grow. We'll play out a desert and get our speed up to 2. We went from snail pace to baby crawling pace. The question now is, go with the monument or go with card draw with our siphon and sacrificing our bell. We do want to mill away cards, but we are also rather light on ammo, and drawing cards could help us find some more of our defensive measures. Let's pass the turn and we'll go with draw. They fire off a 3 steps ahead to draw, then toss a card. Their next play is an authority of their own. Their authority won't be as useful since we're rather low on men. That is a Vivi that has been turned into a soup, and they can use Aerith for mana. And they do just that by firing off a stock up. At this point we can do nothing to slow them down. But on the bright side, they have used their mana and can't play out anything else. With their turn over, let's draw. More lands is not what we want to see. We draw our bounce spell, and that might be able to save us some pain. The surveil land has a chance to improve our draws, but what we really need is speed. Let's go with our last desert and get to speed 3. We're going from crawling pace to skipping along pace. We'll go with the talent this turn. Our token might be asked to defend, or we could use it to get in that last hit to get us max speed. We'll use our bounce to send their soup cauldron back to their hand. No mana advantage for them, and bouncing our own authority means we can replay it right away. They chart a course, but that doesn't add to their board. They are not control, they are not aggro, so some kind of combo. They replay their giant bowl of soup. We draw another siphon, and now all we need is to slow down the beatings we're taking. Our surveil land shows us another land on top. We'll have to bin it, we need help with creature control, and more lands are not it. The question is, do we use our otter token to block, or do we send him in to get max speed? Let's send it. Max speed in this deck is really important. That'll turn on our siphon, and we can start milling away some of their deck with every card we draw. We'll take our talent to level 2 and get back our bounce. We can use it to bounce their Aerith, and at least make them replay it. With the mana we have left, we can play out the second bell, and we can use it to draw once we have the mana available. They fire off a removal to take out our talent, but that's not what we use to win. And then another on the authority. You mad, bro? They tap out completely, so there won't be any concern about them having a counter. It's time for the second siphon to come on down. We'll be milling them for 4 with every card we draw. Next up is Bounce. But unfortunately we don't have the mana to hit both their soup bowl and Aerith. One thing is certain, she has got to go. We'll go with the Monument next. With us milling them 4 cards with every card we draw, their grave is going to fill up quickly. We hit them in the life total, but that's likely not how we're going to win it. They come back with their Aerith, but is that the only thing they have? What kind of deck is this? We'll sacrifice our bell for a card, and we'll make them bin another 4. We finally draw into a split up, and that might be what saves us. We'll take out our otter as well, but that's a small price to pay. After this draw and another round of throwing their cards in the grave, they are down to 17 left in their library. They hit our monument with a white season, but that gives us a draw. Oopsie poopsie bro. They do get a Vivi back and it's indestructible, but I think we can get them before they get us. The bell says it's time for more draw. And the bell gets us a water crystal, but it's too late for it. All we need to do is draw once more, and this is GG's. This is Mary Tyler Moore. No wait, it's just Tyler. We get a shuffler special, but lucky for us we came prepared. We have a bell that can fetch us out an island, and that might see us being in pretty good shape. We do have a water crystal along with a siphon and bounce. Keep. We'll grab an island that will let us play out the siphon and give us a shot at landing the water crystal. Mono White has no plays through their first couple of turns. Thanks for keeping your men in your pants. Don't whip them out, bro. We draw a second siphon, and we'll play one out this turn. Tyler drops an Innocence on schedule, but that's not much of a threat. Maybe they have a hand clogged with removals. We'll use our bounce here. Let them spend their next turn making the same play. We can replay our bell and use it to fetch a plains. We haven't lost anything, and will improve our mana situation. There it is, the same play over again. Thank you for your cooperation. Drawing with the bell gets us a talent, which will play out right away. Then we'll activate the siphon and draw another card. They make themselves a sushi, but that uses up most of their mana. They do get a draw, but it's a rather pricey one. They send it, and this is a trade we're okay with making. Sure, they still get to keep their innocence when it returns, but it won't be a threat on board any longer. Our Surveil land shows us a water crystal on top, but we've got one already. Let's bin this one. If only they weren't legendary. Tyler loves sushi. We are going to get lit up by sushi, but those are still rather slow. We draw a synthesizer, and it's time to get in there with the factory outlet. On top we have a land and a bell. We'll ship the bell, but the land gets us to speed 2. We can play out a second siphon and get our first robot overlord with mana left over to draw. Our robot overlord gets sniped. It's a sad day, but we'll tell the factory manager to keep the production lines rolling. They play out a white overlord for its impending cost, and that does suddenly feel like pressure. With 6 power on board, we're looking at another 3 turns before we're shoved in a pine box. They even get an authority to make our blocking life more difficult. Let's play out the desert and get our speed up. We really need one of our sweepers to deal with their tokens. We go for a draw, and that's when they snipe our robot overlord. Even if they hadn't taken it out, we'd be unable to get in for damages, thanks to their ability to make a sushi once per turn. All the land draws are great. Maybe we can surveil our way to something decent. On top we have a monument. That could be all right. We'll have to give it a shot or take the risk that there might be more lands under it. Let's hit them with the Jidor, the mill land that snipes half their remaining deck. The monument next turn should be able to hit them for whatever is left. They have this one last turn to do 11 damages, or they are toast. They come in for hits, but we're taking our next turn with a positive life total. Time for the monument to come on down and toss their deck in the trash. That's a nice big healthy grave you got there. Too bad that's most of your deck, bro. That's going to be GG's extra cheese. This is Cool Hand Luke. He likes the smell of catnip in the morning, and he doesn't like being told who his father is. We get the extra special shuffler special, the one lander that can't be reasoned with. You can't bargain, it doesn't feel pity or remorse. And of course we have to mull. Then we get a 3-lander with an authority, a talent, a factory, and some draw. This is miles better. We'll send the scrutiny to the bottom. Keep your pants on. Our surveil land shows us another factory on top. We are about to synthesize this game up. They do have blue mana untapped, so let's play out the bell and decline to fetch a land. There is a little bit of a hitch there, so that's something to note. We hit 3 mana. No fear, let's play out the first of our synthesizers. Show us the counter spell or go home. There is no counter spell, and our factory is up and running. On top we have a bell and a split up. We're not sure what they might be up to, so we'll keep the split up. Our surveil land shows us another sweeper on top. Let's not bin it since we have no idea what nonsense they might be up to. We'll follow up with the second synthesizer and get our first robot overlord. Or we would have, had they not bounced our factory. That is fine, we simply get more scry action than we thought we would. On top is our split up and another land. We'll send the sweeper on down this time, since they haven't shown us they even play any men. They must feel the weight of pressure. They're firing off cards one right after the other. Let's try this again. A synthesizer to generate our first robot overlord. On top we have a talent and a siphon. Both are good since the siphon will generate more AI men. We'll draw the siphon with the bell, then play out the talent. Was that the problem? They are is it, and didn't have any red early. Gotta know when to mull. You can't leave things to the shuffler. And there's the cutter. Too bad they burnt through so many cards because they don't know when to mull. They follow up with a Vivi, but those are a pair of tapped men that won't be around long enough to do any damages. We don't have the mana to play out the siphon and the split up, so the sweeper gets the green light, and their men get the dead light. The poop it and scoop it. Smell you later, bro. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.